Module 1, the curriculum of the home. This module is organized into the following 3 parts. Part 1, parent-child relationship. Part 2, routine of family life. Part 3, family expectation and supervision. Several of the success indicators we'll cover throughout this course relate to the curriculum of the home. So before we go any further, let's ground ourselves in what the research tells us about patterns of family life and its impact on students' success in school, especially on literacy and reading habits, self-directed learning, and respectful and responsible behavior. Here, an administrator weighs in.
That really gives the parent an opportunity to see what the expectations are of the teacher. I think sometimes we have, as parents, we have a lot of things going on in our lives, and we don't have the opportunity to really see what's going on. Curriculum of the home builds the bridge between what's going on at school versus what's going on at home, and allows the parent to be educated and cognizant of what the expectations are of that teacher. Teachers appreciate it, and they love it because it reinforces what they were already trying to do anyway. So teachers love it because it builds a relationship with parent and teacher. Also, it helps the relationship between student and teacher because the things that they're doing at home is being reinforced at school and vice versa. That reciprocation is really, really important, and teachers appreciate that. It makes their job a whole lot easier. Students, the curriculum of the home, what it does, it builds a positive attitude for students, not just academically, but also socially. The curriculum of the home gives students an opportunity to really be successful, and again, that permeates throughout other aspects of their lives. At school, at home, on the school bus, you'll see how the curriculum of the home really has a positive impact on that student's ability to be successful, again, academically and socially.
First, let's define parent, a role that we will hear repeatedly throughout this course. A parent is anyone in a student's family who assumes a primary parenting role for a student. This can include a mother, father, grandparent, or guardian, but it must be a person residing with and assuming responsibility for the student. Now for the research. Like a school curriculum that defines and sequences the knowledge and skills that students will master, the curriculum of the home defines the attitudes, habits, knowledge, and skills that a child acquires through familial relationships. These attitudes, habits, knowledge, and skills directly influence school learning. For a moment, put yourself in your classroom and think about a student for whom learning comes easily, or at least who enjoys learning. What characteristics does this student possess? Discipline and focus when completing assignments. Persistence in mastering difficult material. Curiosity in understanding how things work and come together. A desire to get it right and succeed? While every child is different, these are a few learning essential characteristics that can be cultivated at home. The earlier, the better. This is why the curriculum of the home is critical. School is most effective when the home does its part. That same administrator that we heard from earlier sheds more light on this.
My take on the curriculum of the home is basically it outlines the role of the parent in educating their child in the home. It gives them an opportunity to really address different aspects of education, such as reading. You focus on the amount of time spent reading. You focus on what the students are reading. And having those things in the home is real important because we know parents are the primary educator. And when you build that connection with school in the home, it gives our children an opportunity to really be successful. And that's what we're shooting for.
Therefore, it's in the interest of everyone, school, parent, student, to see that the home is successful. Supporting the home and creating a culture of learning and expectation, just as we do in our classrooms, helps us think differently about parental involvement. Rather than something that has to be done, parental involvement can be a real force for student learning success, the ultimate and shared goal of parents and schools. So then, how can the school help to create the culture of learning and expectation at home? 1. The school must expect parents to provide the curriculum of the home. 2. The school must communicate these expectations to parents. 3, the school must educate parents on how the expectations can be met. And 4, the school must connect its associations with parents to these expectations. Let's listen as this parent facilitator reflects on the importance of school connecting with home.
Anytime a family member is affirmed in what they do as far as being their child's first and most important teacher, there's a benefit to the child, because that means the family maybe reads together more often, they talk about learning, they discover things together, they realize that families need to be more like schools and that we visit, we talk, we learn about rocks or minerals or animals or whatever we happen to be interested in. And families really start taking the role as their child's teacher, and that benefits the child because they are then, I think as my Red Shirt team said, the child then is prepared to learn from their experiences in their home. And frankly, that takes training. All of us need training. And so when families are well trained about their role, as well as some strategies that they can do to fulfill that role, the child will benefit. They're going to be more prepared to learn. They probably will be more hungry to learn. I mean, like, what can I learn? Also, there's more of a shared involvement, a shared element of education then, because I can go home and tell my mom about it. I just did a volunteer training at Rosebud, a little town, little school close to here. And we talked about that. When you are involved in your child's education, you can talk about it. What are they learning in social studies? Then we can talk about that, or we can watch a movie about that subject. So always, when something happens at school, and then it happens at home, that is in a child's brain and thinking, it's reinforced.
Very well said, wouldn't you agree? The curriculum of the home is as specific and tangible as the curriculum of the school, and it is even based on standards with research on family practices that are linked to school performance. Those family practices include parent-child relationships, the routine of family life, and family expectations and supervisions. Let's start with the parent-child relationships. Part 1, Parent-Child Relationship. When it comes to the kinds of parental interactions that a child needs for successful school learning, we don't need to look further than Maslow's time-tested hierarchy for a starting point. First and foremost, children develop a sense of worth, security, and support through the love and affection from their parents. The child knows they will be fed, comforted, sheltered, and tended to. They know they have a place in this world and that their existence matters. These basic needs are not their concern. With trust and security established, children are ready for exploration. Developing language, experimenting with vocabulary, and exploring words and ideas is not only safe, but fun. Analytical, expressive, and listening skills continue to develop through regular and sustained conversations with the parent. Topics can be as routine and natural as who they sat next to at lunch and what they did on the playground. Using the natural environment and daily events is an easy way to stimulate conversation and see where it takes you. While every child is different, these are a few learning essential characteristics that can be cultivated at home. The earlier, the better. This is why the curriculum of the home is critical. School is most effective when the home does its part. That same administrator that we heard from earlier sheds more light on this.
It's that connection, that parent-teacher-student relationship is so huge that when everyone's excited about it, it just gets more learning happens, but it's just more exciting as a teacher to see parents who are engaged in their kids' learning and supporting stuff at home, or parents stopping to say, what's your next book you're reading? What are you going to be focusing on? What can I be doing with my child to help support that? It is the rewarding part of education.
The value that their parents are showing in school comes through to them too. And they're talking about the books that they're reading at home with their parents. It's just contagious.
It is contagious, isn't it? Let's continue with more ways to spread this awareness. Family discussions of magazines, newspapers, books, and even television programs connect children to the world beyond them, build vocabulary and empathy, provide new perspectives on old topics, and help to keep alive the child's natural inclination to expand vocabulary and gain power through verbal expression. Finally, family visits to libraries, museums, zoos, historical sites, and cultural events demonstrate the expanse, the value, and the excitement of learning to children. Even more, children associate this learning with family togetherness. Families learn together. That brings us to the end of Part 1. Meet you in Part 2, Routine of Family Life.